Okay, so I wanted to make this video about my sales experience that I had over at Empire Today. I would consider it to be my first real sales experience coming from more scummy places previously prior to working there. So I'm gonna give you the good, the bad, things I wish I would have improved on or maybe did differently at the role. That way, you know, if you're working at Empire Today right now, maybe working for a competitor, or two, you're probably just looking to, I guess, work there. I'll give you pretty much all the information that you truly need, something that I wish I had at the time. But yeah, I'll just get right into it. So keep in mind, I probably did this about 4 years ago, so things could be different today. But I'll start off with the good things. So the good thing about working at Empire Today as a sales rep, outside sales rep, it would be the fact that, one, you don't have a quota. So you're not expected to, you know, sell a specific amount per month, per quarter, or anything like that. It's really more performance closing ratio based to the amount of appointments that you have. So one would be no quota. Two would be sales experience. So whether you're brand new to sales, maybe you already have some sales experience prior, it's a really good way to get your foot in the door, you know, be able to feel comfortable talking to people. Whenever I first started, I was actually very introverted. So the fact that I became less introverted and more comfortable talking to people, especially at such a young age, it definitely helped me out a lot. Keep in mind, I was 18 years old whenever I first started working there. It was my first full-time job. I didn't go to college or anything like that. So I would say 2 would be sales experience. 3 is the amount of inbounds. So whenever you first start at Empire Today, most likely what they're going to do is probably give you, you know, 1 to 3 inbound appointments on a daily basis. So you show up to the customer's home. It's really well qualified. So they have signed up they might have called Empire Today, or if not, they might have signed up through Facebook or anything like that, watching just ads. So I would say that's probably what Empire Today has really strong, is just their inbounds. You will have some people, it's rare when it happens, but some people who just don't expect you, like, oh, we didn't call anyone, or maybe they might have the wrong address on file. It happens, but I would say they're pretty good about the inbounds that they receive. Number 3 or number 4 would be the bonuses. So there's a really good bonus that they have. So if you there's an A, B, C, D, and F reps. If you're an F rep, you're probably on your way out. You're not really closing your appointments. They're probably gonna fire you. If you're an A or a B rep, they actually give you a monthly bonus. So I would say become an A or B rep as soon as possible over there at Empire Today. You'll get bonuses, I think, just based on the market performance that's going on. I'm not really sure how that worked, or maybe it's just your own performance they pay you an additional commission on. There is also a self-generated business bonus. I'm gonna talk more to that, you know, in terms of things I wish I would have done differently, but the bonuses are actually really good. And I would say, you know, probably the 5th thing, reputation. So I know some customers are going to be looking at this video. Empire Today does have a good reputation. I no longer work there, so I'm taking the salesman cap off. If you're a customer, or maybe you're a sales rep selling for Empire Today, I have nothing bad to say about the workers, the product, the way they go about, you know, paying these people. Everyone gets paid really well. Everyone goes through background checks. There's nothing to worry about. So if you're a customer and you're having issues, I would say the first thing that you should probably do is call Empire Today, you know, get support. Now, as a previous sales rep, I don't want to tell you this, but it is somewhat of a cheat code. Empire Today takes their the Better Business Bureau. The Better Business Bureau, they take those ratings pretty seriously. So if you submit a bad rating, they're going to put you on an urgent list and be like, oh my God, what do we need to do in order to get this review like either gone or completely better? So they'll go out of their ways to make sure you're completely, I guess, satisfied. So reputation is definitely a good thing to have if you're backing up a company. So in terms of the bad, so you might know this already, but you're going to be a commission-only sales rep. So For some sales reps, that's a good thing. Others, it might be a bad thing. So you're going to be 100% commission. There is no hourly, there is no base. You're going to be a 1099, so you're going to have to, the good thing is you get to control your hours, but two, you have to set money aside for taxes at the end of the year. So I would say that's number one. Two is the mileage on your vehicle. So in the job description, they probably said something along the lines of, you're going to be driving from a 50-mile radius to these appointments from where you live. They've taken me further. On a bad day, I probably drove about 300 miles, so a whole gas tank for my vehicle. On an average day, you're probably going to be driving about 100, maybe 150 miles a day. So it is it's a lot of wear and tear on the vehicle, so make sure you're keeping up with your vehicle health. Number three, in terms of bad thing, would be physical health. So I was in the car all day. I was very young. I probably gained, not even kidding, 20 to 30 pounds just working that job my first year, just because it's so easy to get snacks at the gas station. It is so easy to just go to McDonald's because it's so much easier instead of making food at home or anything like that. So I would say take care of your own health. Make sure you're tracking your calories, getting what you need in terms of vitamins, caffeine. Make sure you're not taking too much. I've definitely scared off some customers. Something I wish I didn't do was take too much caffeine. So I would say, just look after yourself, your health. It's really easy to get away from that. I would say number four, in terms of bad thing and probably the worst thing, would be the commission rate. So starting out, just in general for all your sales, keep in mind this was about 4 years ago. I don't know if it's changed, but the commission rate I received for any deal closed is 4%. So that's at the bottom level of pricing, which is where I like to sell my deals. Honestly, there's higher commission rates for how high you set your margin for, but I would do 4%. That's what just worked for me. That's what I felt comfortable telling the customer. It's very bad compared to other home improvement, businesses or sales roles where they pay 10% commission. So I would say that's a bad thing, but I will say maybe it's a trade-off going to another organization, just because yes, you might pay better, but you might receive less inbounds. So I would say it's a give and a take. I haven't been outside of Empire today from a home improvement sales perspective, so correct me if I'm wrong, anyone in the audience. But I would say that's probably the bad thing or the worst thing at Empire today. So I would say things I wish I would have done differently as a sales rep would definitely be, one, get to that A rep status immediately. So starting out, you're probably going to be a C or a D rep. The way you get to A status is just by selling the most in terms of closing ratio. So closing the most appointments you can. So this just means bettering your skill set, knowing how to talk to customers, knowing how to read people a little bit more. Listen to sales podcasts, listen to sales books. That's what really helped. And you're going to be learning from just experience in general. So I would say get to that A rep status immediately. It took me about 6 months to go to B rep. That's where you start getting the extra bonuses at the end of the month. A rep is definitely where it's at. So I would say become an A rep. Number two is controlling my schedule. So what I used to do is I told my managers, hey, 6 days a week, I'm open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. What I saw some of the more experienced reps making $400K a year doing the same thing is they worked it like a normal 9 to 5, right? So literally I saw their schedule. It was 9 p.m. to 5 p.m. Others would do it in the evening. Others would be different, but they would only work 8 hours maximum, and that's that for 5 days a week. So something I wish I did differently was having more destiny over my own schedule. I used to keep it wide open just so I can look better to leadership, hoping I can make more money. I was just young at the time. I just wanted to be, looked at just because I needed that at the time, the money. So I would say just controlling your schedule. Number three would be the follow-up. So I mentioned before, there is a self-generated business bonus. What that means in the eyes of Empire today, maybe it's different today, I'm not sure, but what that means is 30 days after an appointment, I believe it's after you don't or do close it, 30 days after that appointment, if they don't buy from you, they've never been a customer. So if you self-generate that business, just follow up 1 month later, like, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, I know I met you a month ago. I was wondering, have you given any more thought to Empire today? Text them. You should always be sending them your contact information. Text them like, hey, just wanted to see what you're doing. Maybe put them on an email sequence. I wish that was something that I did as a sales rep, just so that you can get that self-generated business. So I would say follow up. So 3 things that I wish I can do differently if I were to go back into that sales role would be get to that A-rep status by closing more, schedule, have more destiny over that schedule. One thing I didn't mention there would be make sure you work Sundays. So they're going to be looking at your closing ratio. Sundays don't affect you at all. So if you close nothing, your closing ratio doesn't move. But if you close a deal or an appointment, your closing ratio goes up. So I would say definitely work on that. I would probably get rid of Mondays and Tuesdays. Those historically have been the worst, I guess, sales days for the sales reps there. And 3 would be follow up. Follow up after the 30 days. Maybe it doesn't have to be for that self-generated business, but for, just making your own money, improving that closing ratio. Follow up the next day, the next week, the next month. Don't bother the customer, but just follow up and be like, hey, just be consultative at the end of the day. If you don't want to be that car salesman or just that harsh, hard sell salesman, which definitely Empire today, unfortunately, is somewhat like that, and you've probably experienced this already, just be consultative. You're selling to consumers. A lot of the times it's an emotional decision just because they're using their own money. So I would say that's pretty much it. So the good, the bad, and what I wish I knew doing that role. But yeah, just let me know what you think. Hopefully this video helps. If it did, please let me know. That's what I'm making it for. If you're looking at this job, let me know if you take it. I would still recommend it unless there's a better industry out there. I'm currently not in home improvement sales. There's other better sales avenues I think you can take. But the guys that I know making a lot of money at Empire today, there was people in my market making 300 and 400K a year doing the same exact thing I was doing. So the money's there for sure. But yeah, I wish you luck. I wish you success. Please like, please subscribe. Let me know what you think. And thank you for listening.